Hi, I'm Donna Jordan from Jordan Fabrics. Today we're going to make a curvy log cabin, and we're going to make it from a jelly roll. Now, a traditional log cabin has strips that are all the same width, and they're built around a center square in kind of a spiral pattern. A curvy log cabin has strips that are different widths, and that's what's going to give the appearance of the curves. Once the blocks are done, we can lay them out in different manners to get different curvy looks. Now, I've worked out all the numbers for the pattern, and I've got them all sketched out here, but you don't have to worry about remembering all of this. We will have a free pattern. It'll be the first link right below the video. Just click that and you can print it off and follow along. So the blocks we are making are going to have a light side and a dark side. The dark side is all going to come from the jelly roll strips, and the light side is all going to come from yardage. So we're going to need 2 yards of a light, and we're going to need 32 jelly roll strips. Now, we do want to make sure that we have enough contrast between our strips, our dark strips here, and the light side. So some of these strips are too light, so I'm going to pull those out and not use them. We only need 32, so we could actually pull out 8 of these really light ones, and we'll set those aside. I may use those for binding, or I may use them in another project. Now, here's what we're going to do to subcut all of these strips. I've separated the strips into 2 piles. I've got 16 here and 16 here. So for this stack, I'm going to open up each strip, and I'm going to cut 12.5, 9.5, 6.5, 3.5, and 2.5. Then for this stack, I'm going to open them up and get this, this, and this. So then I'll have 16 of each size piece that we need. There's all the different dark prints cut to size. The next thing to do is to cut the light pieces. So we are going to cut some 1.5 inch strips, the width of the fabric. I need 25 of those strips. Now, these strips are also going to get subcut, but you're going to be able to keep them all folded. There's a lot of different sizes here, so if you're going to make this at home, you're definitely going to want to print off the free pattern before you cut. Now that all the pieces are cut out, all we need is 1 of every piece to make our first block. Now we'll start with the center square and the first 2 lights. So this will go on here, and then that will fit on there exactly. And I like to press all of the seams away from the center. So I'm just going to finger press it just a little bit. Now this piece is going to fit exactly on there. So we'll get that guy stitched on, and again, finger press away from the center. Now the next pieces that are going to go on are the next 2 darks. So those are going to go on there and there. And again, every time you add a piece, the next piece is going to fit on just exactly the right size. Now I'm going to add the next 2 lights. You can start to see the patchwork building bigger and bigger here. Now we're ready for the next 2 darks. So you can see I'm just going to keep adding 2 lights, 2 darks, 2 lights, 2 darks, till I get all of the pieces onto the block. So I'm coming up here on my very last dark piece, which will be right here. And the blocks just build quite rapidly, very satisfying to make, and I don't iron any of the pieces until I get the whole block done. It's actually easier to iron it once all the patchwork is stitched together. So now you're starting to see here the dark patchwork curving a little. So I'm going to go ahead and make all of the other blocks and get them all ironed nice and flat. I have all 16 blocks done, and now comes the fun part. We get to lay these out, and there's a lot of options for laying these blocks out. So the first one I'm going to do is going to be kind of a serpentine pattern. Now you can see this pattern wavering through. So we've got two wavy lines going through, and because that patchwork is big and small, it gives a nice curvy look. Now this option has 4 big circles, and that's very pleasing too. It's nice and balanced. Now for the next option, I only have to change 4 of the blocks. So these 4 here, if I just flip them around, we're going to get a completely different pattern. So this makes the pattern have a central motif right in the middle. Now this layout still has a central pattern, but now we've got a secondary pattern that shows up those big white star-shaped things. So I think I'm going to go with this one. Now I like this one a little better than all the others, but I liked all of them. I really had a hard time deciding which way to lay out the blocks. So I'd like to hear which one you like the best. So leave a comment below and let me know which layout was your favorite. Now that the quilt is on the machine, I get to pick a thread color. I really thought I was going to use the solid cream because I don't want the quilting to show much in this area here. And the cream, it's not going to show at all, and it's not going to show very much in the colored sections. I was thinking that the quilt was pink the whole time I was sewing it, but now that it's all together, it's really kind of a coral color. It's not a true pink, it's more of an orangey color. So that one matches perfectly. It shows up a little bit in the light area. This is another option. It's pretty pale, it doesn't show up much. Now the actual pink thread, that one barely shows there, and it's not going to show in the dark areas also, so I'm going to go with the pink. For the quilting pattern, I'm going to use the paisley feather. It looks almost like flower petals there, and I love the paisley in it. And there's paisleys in the prints that are in the quilt, so this one will be just perfect. Now that the quilt is done, you can really see those curves in it. So happy with how it turned out. Now I used a whole jelly roll for the quilt. I used 32 strips in the patchwork, and then the 8 I had left over, I used those on the binding. So if you're going to use your extras for binding, cut them in half so you get a smaller piece of each one. That will look really good. The quilting, it just shows up as nice little shadowing there. And I love all of these seams. Using just one fabric here really gives a nice, cool look. On the back, this is not from the same collection as the top prints. So these are a Moda Rue 1800 from Three Sisters, and this is from Riley Blake. It's called Bliss, but it coordinates. So I will often use a backing fabric that has nothing to do with the top, something from a different collection. So really fun to make, really easy. I honestly made this in about a day and a half. Now, if you want to make a bigger quilt, it's pretty easy because each block took the equivalent of 2 jelly roll strips. So if you want to use 2 jelly rolls with 80 strips, you can make a lot more blocks. Then you have more options for turning the blocks around and getting nice secondary patterns. Thanks for watching our tutorial today on how to make the curvy log cabin from a jelly roll. I hope you enjoyed it. Now we're going to have another giveaway. This is a quilt called Chasing Windmills. Here, I've got it sideways. We did a video to show how to make this. It's a really fun quilt to make, but today you can win it. So go to the link below the video that says giveaway and put in your email address and your name. And remember, I can send this to any address in the world. Good luck. Now, if you like our videos and you want to support us, the best thing you can do is subscribe to our YouTube channel. That would really help us out. Happy quilting!